Let's set the scene. New York City, midday. The sky rumbles with dark clouds as a streak of red and blue swings low over the skyline. High above, a glint of enchanted metal. Peter Parker, that's Spider-Man to you and me, is about to come face to face with Thor, the Norse god of thunder. But before we dive into who gets their hand raised in this superhero showdown, let's break things down. Who are we talking about, and what do they bring to the table? First up, Spider-Man. On the surface, he's your friendly neighborhood wall crawler. Sure, he can lift up to 10 tons, stick to walls, and dodge bullets thanks to his spider sense. But it's more than that. Peter's real superpower is his geniusly evil intellect and his quick thinking. The kind that saved the universe on more than one occasion. His web shooters. Engineered in his cramped Queen's bedroom, his agility is off the charts, even compared to the best Olympic athletes. And when things get rough, he's got a stubbornness that borders on heroic recklessness. On the other side of the ring, Thor Odinson, raised in Asgard, Thor's no stranger to cosmic showdowns. He's lifted mountains, tamed cosmic storms, survived supernovas. Wielding Mjolnir, a mystic hammer no mortal can lift, he can fly, control weather, and summon lightning at will. To top it off, Thor's centuries of combat experience and near invulnerability make him one of the heavyweights of the Marvel Universe. So, Spider-Man, the ultimate underdog versus Thor, literal god of thunder. It starts as a misunderstanding. It usually does. A streak of electricity sizzles through the clouds, and Thor lands with the weight of a thunderclap. Spider-Man quips, "Hey, Goldilocks, you here for Comic-Con, or do we have a problem?" Thor isn't exactly famous for his patience. One swing of Mjolnir sends a shockwave that shatters rooftop masonry. Spidey's spider sense flares. Danger, immediate, absolute. He flips away, webs a gargoyle, and fires a strand of webbing at Thor's face. For an instant, a thin mask of web covers Thor's eyes. Not just a distraction, but a ploy to buy a few seconds. Clearly, direct combat is not an option. Thor towers over Spider-Man, both in power and experience. But Peter's quick. He hurls himself around Thor in acrobatic arcs, using the city's verticality to his advantage. Thor, meanwhile, is relentless. Mjolnir spins, lightning arcs, clouds churn overhead. Every time Spider-Man gets close, he's nearly fried by a bolt of divine electricity. His agility keeps him alive, but barely. Every slip could be his last. Peter knows he can't brute force his way through. He's got to improvise. Maybe he tries to web the hammer, a classic Spidey move, but Mjolnir shrugs it off. Maybe he goes for distraction, taunting Thor, banking on the god's famous sense of honor, or his occasional gullibility. Maybe Spidey's gadgets come into play. Impact webbing, stinger darts, or the sudden deployment of a decoy. Maybe, just maybe, Parker's mind can solve a problem his fists can't. But here's the ugly truth. All things being equal, Thor isn't just out of Spider-Man's league. He's playing an entirely different sport. Strength, endurance, firepower. Thor checks every box, and the comics know it. There have been a handful of direct tussles between Spider-Man and Thor in the Marvel canon. Mostly, they end predictably. Peter stays alive using his wits, but Thor ultimately prevails. There's even a moment in Marvel Team-Up number 7 where the two square off under the influence of mind control. Spider-Man gives it everything he's got, and Thor barely flinches. That's not an insult to Peter. It's a compliment that he's smart enough not to double down once Mjolnir gets swinging. Still, Spider-Man's victories come in other ways. He's not the strongest, or the fastest, or the most powerful. But he never gives up, and he never backs down from a fight he can win. If someone else needs protecting, if this weren't a misunderstanding, if the fate of the city hinged on his success, he'd find a way to distract, delay, escape, or turn Thor to his side. So, who would win? Spider-Man or Thor? If they're fighting to a finish, it's Thor. The God of Thunder's just too powerful, too tough, too experienced. But in another sense, Spider-Man always wins. Not because he's the powerhouse, but because he never quits. And he never forgets why he fights. In comics, that's as important as lifting a hammer. And that's why, no matter the matchup, you'll always find these two swinging, soaring, and probably teaming up in the next round. Because in the Marvel Universe, being a hero isn't just about power, it's about heart.